What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm here for another fantasy matchup. This one from Consta 4891. This one was actually sent to me back in January, but I got sick and then had surgery and stuff. But this one is a really good fantasy matchup. This one is between two former lightweight champions, Pernell Whitaker and Roberto Duran. Really good matchup. You got the elusive style of Whitaker, but in relentless brute strength of Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, hands down, possibly the greatest lightweight champion of all time. Pernell Whitaker, to me, is one of the top 20 best boxers of all time, if you ask me my opinion. But in a fight like this, it's really so if you look at another comparison of era matchup, 12 round fight, 15 round fight. You have a lot of there's a lot of stuff to think about in this fight. Because Pernell Whitaker, if you look at a lot of his fights, he did do a very good job against fighters that applied a lot of pressure to him, a lot of pressure on and even though this is welterweight, in the Chavez fight, Chavez applied a lot of pressure on him, but he was able to move around the ring very well and capitalize on it. But Chavez wasn't able to land combinations, combinations to the body, or all sorts of combinations. Unlike Duran, who attacked the body and was relentless when he attacked the body. Roberto Duran, did come forward, quite a bit, or all the time, was always there in your face, and most of the time, he knew how to close the gap and close the distance. He did a very good job of that at lightweight. But in a fight like this, I do see like the early goings of the fight, I do see Pernell Whitaker coming out, and fighting boxing, his normal way, going in, using the southpaw jab, and mixing up the southpaw jab, and pretty much just moving around the ring, being the ring general for the first 3-4 rounds. But there were times that Pernell Whitaker would kind of go in the fights, and it would take him like a round or two to kind of get warmed up. But I do think that Roberto Duran, in the early goings of the fight, I think Roberto Duran would more than likely probably win the first round. I think because Duran, was always there to fight. It was always in your face. Just the type of style that he had. I do think that Duran would be that way in the fight. But other than that, I just see I pretty much just see I'm gonna make this kind of as quick as possible because I don't have much time. But in a fight like this, Pernell Whitaker, I do see him boxing in the early rounds, but I do see Roberto Duran the shots probably wouldn't hurt Duran. So I do see Duran coming forward, constantly coming forward, kind of closing the gap, landing all kinds of shots to the body, landing shots to the head, and actually hurting Pernell Whitaker. And maybe he's gonna use he used a lot of roughhouse tactics in the fight, and stuff like that. But in a fight like this, I'd say Roberto Duran will win this fight by I'd say 11th round, 10-11 round knockout, because I just think that the relentless pressure would be too much for Whitaker. Whitaker was the type of fighter who had to have his space, to get his shots off and fire his shots off. Though I do like to pick boxer over brawler any day, and Duran wasn't necessarily your big time brawler, but he was the guy that pressured you and knew how to fight, and knew how to get the victory, and did whatever he could do to get the victory. And against Whitaker, I do think he would close that gap, and after he closed the gap, probably get the knockout in the 10th or 11th round. I do think he would knock out Whitaker using a body shot, like maybe I'd say right hook to the liver, right hook liver shot, I think, would knock out Pernell Whitaker. But anyway, that was my fantasy matchup: Roberto Duran versus Pernell Whitaker. I really don't have many, to be quite honest. So send me more so I can get to 50 or 100, whatever. But anyway, that was Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.